That's something I'm very excited about because in RudderStack as a company, we work with customer data. We can talk about the impact both in short-term things and long-term things, right? Short-term impacts would be around changes that don't require changing existing workflows and which fit into making existing workflows like faster, better, cheaper. And some good examples of that are like, let's say, responding to support questions. Today, when a support agent receives a ticket, they have to look up a knowledge base and search and so on. I think that will get 5x faster, where like an LLM can respond to a lot of the support questions, which a support agent can review and quickly respond to. So it doesn't like fundamentally change the workflow. It's still like the ticket going to a support agent, they're responding, it just becomes faster. Same with, you can think of like an SDR or an AE writing an email for a prospect. Like, again, today they are doing a lot of research and crafting an email that will be automated by an LLM, but you still fundamentally have the same set of people. Marketing will probably get changed, and some of the way recommendation models are designed today will be impacted by LLMs. Analytics will get changed. Right? Instead of data analysts writing a lot of complex SQL, they'll probably write a text and it will generate this. You're already seeing that in things like GitHub Copilot, where like software engineers don't have to start from scratch and get like a lot of help from LLMs, and at least giving you a stub function that you can go and change if required. So fundamentally, it doesn't change the workflow, but the existing workflows become faster. And then what will take longer is where the workflows themselves get replaced. Maybe you don't even have a support team. Maybe how software gets developed is completely different. One saw on Twitter is like the first $1 billion company that has like less than 20 people. Can that happen? Can LLMs make? Can you create like a very complex SaaS software without having software engineers and so on? So yeah, I think those will take time, like 5 to 10 years to guess. Because again, it's always hard to change workflows, right? Even if you had an amazing tool, it doesn't require like any software engineers. Like you still have to go and sell to existing product development teams. The short-term things would be like, again, like speeding up existing workflows so that your support questions are much faster. You have a much better relevant content recommendation from your email marketing campaign, or your analytics is much faster and much more accessible to non-SQL people in the company. You're already seeing a lot of innovation happen. Like at least on the content marketing side, I was reading somewhere that 60% of the content that is being generated is already generated some version of generative AI. To realize some of these benefits, it's not going to be easy. There are a lot of challenges that we need to overcome. Like the first set of challenges around like product. What we have today is from the fundamental model providers, almost like an API. You send it a context and a prompt and you get a response back. But taking that and changing a business workflow is work. You have to not just overcome challenges around like hallucination, cost, and privacy, so on. There are also business workflow challenges, right? How do you integrate that into a system that you're already in place, so your team is trained on? And some companies would be leaders, some would be laggard. But yeah, but still there are product engineering innovation that needs to happen to make it really mainstream. Then this is again going back to my previous point around the short-term impact of LLM. Once the product and engineering things are figured out, yes, people will get benefit. The harder challenges to overcome are around where like the workflows get replaced, right? Where your entire business process has changed. How you support maybe is completely changed. Or how do you drive marketing is completely different, right? So those changes are much more disruptive, and those require beyond just like having the next best product. It is an organizational change that somebody has to push through, and those hopefully would happen, but might need a much longer time. If I had to speculate, let's say, let's start with the simple use case. Hey, Vinay, is this brand and there is a human on the other side. There are multiple people in the brand who are interacting with the human on the other side. There is a email marketing going on, and there is a human sales guy trying to sell, and then there is a support guy trying to support, right? And then there are complex pieces of software. Each one is running and workflows they're managing and so on. Right? Particularly in the consumer world, it's pretty simple. As I just want something from the brand. I want it shipped. And then if I have questions around the product, I want to resolve that. If I have to return, I need to just get it done. So all this complexity on the brand side with like multiple team, I think should be handled by kind of a super intelligent bot. And this again goes back to like my 3-hour window kind of thing. Need like a lot of complexity and a lot of planning to handle a customer. They want to order something, they want to return something, you have specific questions. Yeah, I can almost imagine that you can create a B2C brand without any of those teams. And it goes back to that point of, can you create like $1 billion brand with 20 people? It may not need like any of those things at all. With a lot of that work being taken over by LLMs and so on. Now, it's probably only the new brands can do that. And if you're an online business, you should be designing your systems assuming that is automated. If I had to create an Amazon today, I'll assume that like I don't have any humans doing marketing or any humans doing support. You probably create a very different organization to start with that. The most obvious use case, which I guess like most B2B or B2C brands are doing, are using LLMs for these things like support. If the customer asks a question, it is probably answered in some doc or in a previous support ticket. And we should be able to train an LLM on all of that and get a response much faster. If we use a vendor called Kappa, they take an LLM and then train it on your own internal support and your documentation and so on. And then they give you a bot that you can ask any support question, get a response back. So yeah, those are like easy things. Now, as you can imagine, we dogfood RudderStack internally heavily. So all our customer interactions and so on is captured through RudderStack. And we have come up with some interesting use cases for LLMs in that stack. Like for example, like we send out personalized emails when somebody signs up on the app, telling them that they should be setting up a source and they should be setting up a destination, and this is like a relevant content for them. Now, a lot of that used to be generated through static sequences in a marketing tool, but we are slowly replacing that with email content generated by an LLM. And the context that we feed into that LLM is the customer 360 that we create with our stack profile. So we know everything about our customers. We know what is their job title, what is the industry, what their location, what are the last 5 pages they have looked at, what are their interests, and we feed all of that into an LLM and ask it to like produce a content recommendation. And that LLM is trained on our own personal data. That one use case that we have just deployed and seeing some good results. We are using like a bunch of these standard LLM like OpenAI, Google, and Snowflake, and we are basically passing the, let's say for the content recommendation use case, we pass the entire content library as a context to the LLM and get a response back, right? And in fact, like there is a school of thought that you don't even need, even for a support use case, we may not even need like a custom trained LLM. Like you can solve all of that through passing like a huge context, and you can feed your entire content library, all your support tickets as context. Yeah. Some of the new age LLMs, they can take like up to 1 billion tokens as context, right? So ignoring the cost aspect, you can possibly like feed this entire thing as context, entire knowledge base as context. What's real and what's hype in Gen AI? I have mental model will solve anything that a human can do within a 3-hour window, whether it's like take a test or write a piece of content or solve the international mass Olympiad problems. Anything that doesn't require like a lot of planning over a long period of time. LLMs are amazing at that. If they are not solving it today, the next better, bigger model will solve that. So I think that's real, and that will probably impact 10% or whatever large number of jobs, right? A lot of real life jobs are fall in that category. It's like a problem solving within a given time period. What I feel hype is all this talk about AGI, right? And it's, if you follow like ML researchers like Yal LeCun and so on, they also believe that this AGI hype is created by some of these LLM companies to like maybe increase their valuation or get regulations in place which kind of give them some edge over like other startups coming into and disrupting them. Like people don't even understand what like AGI fully means. So that is probably this talk about AGI and human race being under like some kind of a threat. All that is probably hype. Specifically because I feel where LLMs are not good is around long-term planning. It's something which requires you to go and do something and learn from it and then like take corrective actions. There are other forms of ML which have like reinforcement learning and so on. Maybe there is a new stream of machine learning that will get invented, which combine powers of LLMs and reinforcement learning and so on. Who knows? But I feel like, yeah, that's all the form of AGI is high. As a CEO, I'm constantly thinking about like how we can leverage it for two things I would say. Right, one is as like a product leader of the company, how we can leverage it in our own product stack to make it easier for our customers. So specific use cases I talked about like the personalized email, we are using it internally, but once it is close to be productized, we'll deploy with our customers. Similarly, we are looking at ways to do analytics with like text. So there are like few product directions that are fairly early. The second part of it is how we can optimize some of our business processes by leveraging LLM. It's not a matter of cost that we can do things cheaper. It's more of a question of can we give more relevant responses to our customers? Can we do it much faster? Yeah, support is one great example. I have a great leadership team. They are all like thinking about ways to like leverage LLMs in their creative. Like a marketing team I know also leverages LLMs heavily for creating content, marketing sequences, and so on. So finally, it's all about like velocity and growth and these better experiences for our customers.